Valorant is a low skill game, that's what a lot of Counter-Strike players say. Abilities, flashy agents, easier mechanics. But if it's really low skill, why does it have millions of players, massive tournaments, and some of the highest viewership in tactical FPS? A truly low skill game doesn't create this level of competition, it doesn't create this level of mastery. So something doesn't add up. Today we are not arguing emotionally, we are breaking this down from a game design perspective. Why Valorant is called low skill and why that argument might completely misunderstand the game. When people say Valorant is easier, they usually point to a few things. The recoil is more forgiving, movement isn't as punishing, utility is more accessible, and the visual clarity is cleaner. And honestly, from a first impression, that argument makes sense. Because if you compare it directly to Counter Strike 2, the difference is obvious. In Counter Strike, using utility is a skill by itself. You need deep understanding of the game's physics, you need to learn lineups, you need to practice grenade throws again and again to land them on a very specific pixel. A smoke landing perfectly on bomb site is not something you do casually. It takes knowledge, it takes practice, and CS players see that as a pure mechanical skill. And they are not wrong. But when those same players look at Valorant, they see something very different. Abilities are attached to characters. You press a button on your HUD, you see the direction, sometimes you even see exactly where it will land. From the outside, it looks like the game is doing the hard work for you. And that's where the misunderstanding starts, because what looks simple at the surface isn't actually simple in practice. Valorant's abilities are designed so new players can understand them quickly. A beginner can look at an ability and immediately understand what it does. This one blinds enemy, this one gathers information, this one blocks vision. That accessibility helps new players learn the game while playing it. But understanding an ability and using it effectively are two completely different things. Launching an ability randomly doesn't win rounds. Timing does, coordination does, and prediction does. Take smokes for example. Placing a smoke in Valorant is easy, but placing it at perfect moment when your team is entering a site so that enemies lose vision exactly when you push, that requires planning, that requires awareness, that requires team coordination, and the same thing applies to almost every abilities in the game. You might get stunned, you might get flashed, you might get scanned by information abilities, you might suddenly lose vision because of smokes. A player has to constantly think about all of these possibilities. You are not just reacting to gunfights, you are reacting to layered system happening at the same time. And that's where the real complexity of Valorant appears. At low ranks, abilities might feel chaotic, but at high ranks, they become incredibly precise. Players combine abilities together, they bait reaction, they control information. The same ability that feels simple in a beginner match can be extremely demanding in high level play. Because difficulty in Valorant isn't just about the ability itself, it's about how and when it is used, and the difference becomes massive as the level of play increases. But let's pause for a second. If abilities automatically made a game low skill, then professional matches of Valorant should look chaotic. Random flashes, random smokes, random abilities everywhere. But that's not what happens. Watch a professional round carefully. A recon ability scans an area. A smoke appears exactly where defenders usually peek. A flash follows immediately after, and the team enters the site at the exact moment vision is blocked. That's not randomness, that's coordination, that's preparation, and most importantly, that's decision making under pressure. Now compare that to what many players imagine when they hear the word abilities. They imagine chaos, but what actually happens at high level is the opposite. Abilities become structured tools. They gather information, they control space, they force enemy reactions. And suddenly, the game isn't just about who aims better, it becomes about who understands the situation better. That's where the real skill gap appears, because mechanical skill alone can win fights, but information and timing can win entire rounds.